and today I'm here to review the new Aquaman movie, which I have been looking forward to for such a long time. I love Aquaman. Like, I loved him before Jason Momoa was even cast and we get that hunk of a guy as our Aquaman. Like, his powers, just as ridiculous as they were, like, I want to talk to dolphins and sharks so bad. So, like, you can bet your ass I'm all over Aquaman. That sounded weird. And the more they added to the movie, like with Amber Heard, love her, so I was super excited to see Mera on the big screen. And, you know, I was really excited for it. However, it is a DC movie, and, you know, DC movies, they don't have the best track record aside from Wonder Woman, so I was cautious going into this movie, and I feel like a lot of the trailers that I saw were really interesting, like really great, like the oceanography it set up, the cinematography, everything like that. Like, it seemed like it was really good, but there were still parts that I was like, just like some of the like jokes and the more campiness of it. And again, it is like Aquaman, and DC has a habit, I feel like, of ruining their own, I mean, I shouldn't say DC, but like movie studios in general that aren't Marvel have a habit of sometimes ruining these movies because they just try and get in and take over and kind of get in the way of the director's vision. And that was actually one of the biggest things I took away from Aquaman, was I feel like DC really gave James Wan like his free reign over this movie. Like, this really seemed like his creative vision and his story that he wanted to tell, and you could really feel that, and it really felt cohesive and whole, which was really nice, because I worried, like I said, you know, with like Fan Four Stick and even Suicide Squad, how sometimes like you can see where like the director was going in a certain direction and then the studio was like, well, we need you to include this, this, and this, and then it all just kind of turns into this hobbled, pieced together mess instead of like a one cohesive movie. So I was pleasantly surprised that it really did feel like a cohesive movie, and I feel like James Wan did an amazing job with it. I haven't seen any of his other movies because I hate horror movies, but from what I've heard, he's a really good director in those. So I also did see, like, in this movie, like when they were swimming at the beginning, when it was Mera and Arthur were swimming somewhere. I swear there was an Annabelle doll, like, in the ocean, like, kind of off to the side. But I also couldn't see that well because we had to sit in the front row, so it was kind of just out of the corner of my eye. But I'm pretty, like, 95% sure there was an Annabelle doll. But anyway, the movie. The movie was so much better than I thought it was going to be, just because, obviously, like, I don't pay too much attention to reviews and stuff like that, but from what I had been seeing out of the corner of my eye, like, people weren't loving this. They weren't hating it, but they weren't loving it, and I was just kind of like, oh great, like, it's just gonna be long and tedious, not great. But I was so surprised to find out that I really did enjoy it. I thought it was gonna be way worse, honestly, like way campier. The jokes, some of them were a little like, you know, 5-year-old humor, but I also feel like that's who Arthur is, and like it just kind of grew on me because Jason Momoa plays it off so well, you know, like he makes those jokes, he makes those kind of like pee jokes, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is just what we're going with. So I can, you know, for me, the pros outweigh the con in this. I also really loved Mera, and especially like how independent and badass she was on her own. Like, her and Arthur's relationship was really cool, because I feel like it was very equal, but in a way that played to each of their own strengths. So it wasn't just like she was badass for the sake of being badass. She like literally was like from this planet, like from this area that he like never grew up in. Like, she knew how to do more stuff than he did, so it like made sense that like she would kind of take command. And then when they were on land and it was like less her, you know, home territory, like he took over and was more in charge, and it felt like actually equal, as opposed to like, we're just gonna make like him, you know, in love with her for no reason. Like, their relationship, it felt natural and it felt cute, and they're so similar is what I realized. Like, they just both dive headfirst into danger without like really a second thought. She's kind of worse actually than he is when it comes to that. Like, when she jumped off the plane, he was just like, what's happening? Like, I feel like that's where I really got their relationship, is that they play off of each other so well. Even like if they get annoyed with each other at points or something like that, or if he doesn't take things too seriously and she takes things too seriously, you know, they can still have that common thread of like, I feel like you saw where their similarities lied, and that was kind of the foundation of their relationship. And then Mera, just in general, like I said, I freaking loved her. Like, I want a spin-off about her because she was so badass and so strong, and so, you know, she had like so much emotional range. Same with Arthur. Arthur did have that as well. Like, you saw them go through kind of like doing the right thing, but at the same time, like, what is it going to cost them to do the right thing? And it was just, I would love to see like a movie about Mera before, like when she like realized all this stuff about Arthur, and stuff like that, and realized that like she had to go behind her dad's back kind of and do that. I was getting super, and I even told my friend Jess this when we were there, super Mindy vibes from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie with her. Like, you know how she's like trying to convince her dad, the king, that like he shouldn't do this. She's working with like the wayward traveler that she's not supposed to be and stuff like that. She was just so badass, guys. And her, what is it, her hydrokinesis or whatever, so freaking cool. Like that line scene in Sicily was one of the best in the movie for me. Like how she was just like taking it all and taking them all down. There were just so many like different aspects of it too, which I really like when they visited and she was eating the flowers and Arthur was just like, okay, instead of like, you know, telling her, no, we don't eat flowers, he just ate them too. Like, I feel like that's their relationship, you know? And when she helped the girl, like, she gave her the coin after Arthur gave it to her, and then she made, like, the little dolphins for her and stuff. She's just so awesome. I love Mera so much. And Arthur, too, I was really, really impressed with. Wasn't too pleased with him at the beginning of the movie because it reminded me a lot of Black Panther, actually, in the beginning, with that scene where the guy, like, basically, well, he did. He killed his brother, and this one, Arthur left Black Manta's father for dead. Like, was like, I'm not helping you. You killed innocent people. Like, if he's gonna get out of this, he has to do it on his own. It was kind of like, damn, Arthur, like, that sucks. So, like, this is, like, a specific enemy now that Arthur has made, so I get why they had to do it, but it was still, like, one of those things where you were like, did you learn nothing from the turmoil that Superman has been through after killing Zod? Like, it's just. But I feel like they did do a good job of balancing out afterwards in Sicily when a lot of people were getting like attacked. Like you saw him a lot of times like trying to like shield civilians and get them out of harm's way and stuff like that. And he did learn. He told Mera afterwards like, I had a choice and I made the wrong one. And she was like, yeah, but now like you've learned, you've grown, and you can do better. Like, this is your chance to do better. I really, really loved it. I feel like it had such a good mix, like I said, of like the scary scenes when they went to the trench, the absolutely beautiful scenes when they were at the little place that his mom ended up, and they were just like little dinosaurs running around. I was like, oh, that's so cute. Julie Andrews was in this movie. Her voice was amazing. They were just, I just love how like, you know, the whole thing was Arthur realizing that like, it kind of dismantled toxic masculinity in a way, because it's like, yes, Arthur still punches and fights things, but he had that nice moment where he was like, you know, my first thought is I'm always angry, like I just want to punch something and be done with it, like that's my thing. But like I'm learning that like there's more to it, like I have to strategize, I have to wait, I have to, you know, be diplomatic, as much as he hates that. And I think that was a really nice lesson for him to learn, you know, of like balancing these two worlds, like his mom said, the land and the sea. The sea, they saw like many times they said like our way is like of revenge and no mercy and stuff like that, and Arthur's kind of bringing his own way and being like, that's not how we do it always up on, you know, for the most part, that's not how we do it on the human land. And like that's what he's bringing, and it's just really, really awesome to see that. And I just feel like the story was so good. I was so happy Nicole Kidman was still alive because I love her and I loved how badass she was in this movie. I loved all the like comparisons, even like in their fighting styles between Mera and Atlanta, because like you could see like why Arthur was falling in love. Like that's literally his mom, like just her personality, like that firecracker personality was Mera, and that was really, really cute. I also love that his dad didn't die. I thought his dad was gonna die, so I'm glad they kept him alive, because I feel like they didn't make anything too tragic just for the sake of making it tragic, you know? It wasn't like someone had to die just to like move Arthur's story along. It was like he still learned without having to have like someone, you know, die or something big like tragic to happen for him to learn. Like he still was able to do that. And then I also just loved the scenery. Like James Wan did an amazing job with the cinematography, like the sharks, the underwater scenes, even like Mera's jellyfish dress that she had when they were in the ring of fire. Like that was just so, it was all so beautiful and so well done. Like I actually felt like I was there, you know, just like immersed. I mean, that probably also had to do with the fact that, again, I was in the front row, so I was like, oh, it's like I'm at the aquarium. But I feel like it was just so amazingly well done for something that could have been really, really cheesy or really, really stupid. Like, they really gave their attention and they gave these characters all a fair shot, which was really, really awesome, you know, and I really hope we get to see more of them in a sequel, since, you know, Justice League is probably out of the question by now. But overall, I so enjoyed this movie. I thought it was so good. My only thing would be, I feel like it needed a bit more development in kind of explaining Atlantis and all that, because I was confused, because I'm not huge into the comic books, about the different seas and like the allegiances and the alliances between that, and who was working for who, and who was kind of, you know, like the ruler of them all and like where exactly Atlantis fit in. So luckily I did have my friend Jess, who is super into the comics, so she was able to explain to me after the movie. But she even said, yeah, that's like a kind of confusing thing, is they make it seem like you're just supposed to automatically know this stuff sometimes when you necessarily don't. And again, it's not something I feel like that hindered my enjoyment of the movie. It's just something that I kind of had questions about sometimes. And I feel like had it been answered, I wouldn't have been wondering that when other things were going on, you know? So if you have seen Aquaman, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. If you loved it, if you were disappointed by it, all the feels and thoughts you have on it. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below so we can make all sorts of new videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!